Yo, what's good guys, I'm Fire here back with another video, and today we're going to be hopping into another offensive scheme in Madden 22. Today we're going to be running the single back tight Y off, which is a pretty cool formation. You guys tend to like these compressed sets. It is kind of similar to the single back tight slots from a couple of years ago, if you know what that is. So, similar to that formation. We're going to be in the Tennessee Titans playbook, actually. This formation is in various playbooks. Now, a lot of them have different plays mixed in, mixed out. I would say my favorite are going to be Titans and Giants. Titans is going to have the dive and the stretch. Giants does not have the stretch, but it has a couple of other cool passing plays. I think Titans is the best. It's also in like 15 total playbooks, so I'm not going to list them all. But going through my audibles, I'm going to have the stretch, dive, bench switch, and PA boot slide. I do recommend using Hot Route Master. The other runs you have are zone weak, an inside zone split that you can run, so I'll just actually come out in the zone weak just so you guys can get a look at that. And yeah, man, overall, let's just jump straight into it. Again, Tennessee Titans offensive playbook for this video. Now, take a look at it. Generally, what I'll do is I'll run these two receivers on the wider side of the field, so you can actually set up like that if you want, which is kind of what we're doing right now. Two receivers, wide side, and then you have your tight end over here. So it does kind of look different than the play art. The play art would kind of suggest that this guy would be off the ball, but he is kind of right there with the lineman. But we have a nice display of run plays that we're going to go through. Pretty good formation. You can actually motion Gronkowski over like this to open up your ground game a little bit more. The way that we did that, motion is going to be kind of a bigger part of this offense. We use it a lot throughout. So you see kind of motions over fast. He actually goes out wide into that bunch position, so you can motion him out however wide you want, and then actually snap him, or you can snap him in a kind of a halfback wham, which I like to do for the dive. So you can kind of motion him, and I guess for this play you can't snap him too early, but for the dive you'll see that you can actually snap him pretty early. I like the dive and the stretch. The zone's not my favorite, but it is there. Something else you can do is motion Chris Godwin over. When you motion Chris Godwin, this is going to give Rob Gronkowski actually wide receiver hot routes, so you notice how he goes from off the ball back to on the ball. Because of course you need two wide receivers on the ball. So there's a lot of cool motion. Obviously when you motion Godwin over, what look are you creating? A single back bunch tight end look. So you can create some cool stuff just like that. And of course you can actually motion these guys across as well. So you could like flip your run it to the right, or keep it to the left in this case. And if Ali Marpet could hold a block, we would be kind of set up there. So that's the zone weak. Not my favorite, but not the worst as well. Something good to mix in if your stretch is getting shot. So let's actually go into the stretch. And of course, you can flip your run either way. Does not matter in this case. I'm probably going to run it to the left side, and we just kind of snap this default as we get kind of caged right there. But obviously, if he's playing more compressed, more inside, run the stretch. If he's playing more outside, which is kind of what the case is here, I would more likely run the dive against a set like this. But if he's in like a 3-4, that's where you probably run your stretch. So again, it just depends formation to formation, what he's doing, what he's having success with. Of course, you do want to kind of mix in this extra blocker, as for whatever reason Gronkowski decided to block nobody. That's pretty fantastic. Let's see if he actually picks someone up now. And you can kind of cut it up the middle. For whatever reason, it's not doing good. I'm going to switch to the 3-4 because I was doing better against that. All right, we switched to the 3-4, which is a look that you could actually have success with this halfback stretch. You already see it happening right there. Just being able to get to the outside. And this is a situation where the strength of the defense is going to be the interior. And the dive will actually do good against this, so I'll probably stay in it. But you're also going to be able to run it to this right side a little bit, which Fournette is not good for these little maneuvers that I'm trying to do. So obviously, you saw the big gap right there. Show it again. And I guess it's not there. But overall, it should be a pretty good run to use. I like mixing it up. You can, again, incorporate some motion like this. Get an extra blocker downfield. I'm not sure why Tyler Johnson sat there. But generally, your stretch should be a pretty strong run. You can see against this defense, the best way to run it is just to simply flip with no motion. Sometimes to confuse your opponent, what you can actually do is run it to the left, and then you could like motion your receiver over to the right side. You could either run it to the right, or you could just kind of run it to the left and like spin back the way that we just did right there. Or again, you could actually run it to the right with the motion. And I believe in this case we can actually motion our boy Mike Evans over to that side as well, which is definitely something that is kind of cool. Motion him out there, and now you see he sets the edge. He's able to get the edge. Obviously, you would hope that Deion Jones is blocked there by the offensive line. For whatever reason, he's not. I'm not sure why we're not picking up good blocks or better blocks right now, but there you see, again, some more potential to break it out. And keep in mind that one of these guys is going to be their user, so the user is going to worry about the pass. So some different things. Here you see, again, if Gronk can hold his block, we have a big gain. So stretch, pretty nice. Next play is going to be their dive. The way I like to run dive is with a little quick motion with Gronkowski like that. So a little bit of a quick kind of wham motion to where you motion him, he's going to help out, but the opponent also doesn't have enough time to react and even run commit or something like that. Holy crap, I promise you guys, I labbed this before. It worked really well. For whatever reason, we hop into stupid video, and now like we're just not going to get any good blocks at all. Guess we have to switch back. All right, so we're back in nickel again. I've labbed this before. I'm telling you guys, I don't know why it's not working right now, but see if we can get something going on the ground game. But again, just basic stuff with the run game. You guys know that the run game works. You don't need to see me run it and for 20 minutes to know that the run is good. For whatever reason, when you hop to it against nickel, you can't do that little wham motion that I did against 3-4, so also keep that in mind. I didn't know that. For whatever reason, these formations seem to have restrictions. Again, I don't know exactly why that is the case, but you can like motion this guy out, just run it straight up the middle, and now you see that we're getting a lot better success, 5+ yards carry, which is kind of normal. It was what was happening. So again, simple things like motion Tyler Johnson over, just to maybe create some better matchups with your offensive line, cut it back, but kind of similar, same stuff with the run game you guys already know. And overall, it is a pretty good formation to run the ball out of. Now we got 2 more passing plays. I am using Hot Route Master, so we're going to create some cooler setups. But we have a PA boot slide, and then we have a bench switch. We'll start out with a bench switch, which I kind of like just to run this play a little bit normal. Throw RB on like a little streak. And then you just have your simple bench concept with little corner out routes. Now we will definitely mix it up. One thing that I like to do to mix this play up is to create a little tight end angle type of a play. So I'll probably streak Y, drag B, and then put A on a little trail route if you have Hot Route Master. So this is the true tight end angle setup. If you were to throw Fournette on that route, I'll probably just block him here because under center, people will try and blitz you. Keep that in mind. So here you see the corner out. Not sure why Tom winded that pass up, but you see that it was open. But you can definitely create some cool things like this. I would recommend that. Just basic route combinations that can, of course, get open. Here you see Gronkowski. You can fit that ball in. Late play situation, you create a high-low read between the drag and the corner route. So can do some cool things like that. If you wanted to, you could go with like a little setup like this, where you streak B, cross Y, and then throw RB on a little out route to the left. You have this weak side corner out that can potentially pull the user down. Otherwise, you have a nice deep route over here. So I like to create options like that. Again, we give ourselves a couple of quick throw options if he sends pressure with the out route with Gronkowski, and then also your route with Leonard Fournette. And then, of course, you have your later routes that you can throw with Tyler Johnson and then Mike Evans. Chris Godwin's just going to be a clear out. This is a good 5-out setup in my opinion, where you send everybody out. Of course, you're doing this probably if he's rushing 3, because otherwise you might get screamed at. If you do want to go ahead and block somebody else, what you might do here is maybe block RB, cross Y, and then you could just run it like this with the weak side corner out. Or if you really wanted to, you could like drag Gronkowski going to the other side and just create like a basic route combination. So there's definitely a lot of options like that, and it just depends on how your opponent's playing you. But overall, I would not be against creating some setups like that. If you want to as well, you can maybe create a single back bunch tight end setup, and then if we're doing that, we can throw a Y on a little crosser here. You could wheel RB, put X on a little flat, or let's throw B on a flat here, and then I don't know, drag. Sorry, these buttons are confusing in this bunch. I'm used to B being that closest receiver to the line. But you can create something like this out of the bunch tight end, and this allows you to use the wheel routes a little bit better, which I will go back to, but that's how you can use some motion, and you might even motion snap that just to develop it a little bit better. Going back to the motion, you could again create something like this. I don't know what you would do, maybe backside slant, I don't know, streak A, or you could block A and then hitch B. So you just create some cool quick combinations like this, You have a crosser, you have a wheel route, you pick between them, and you can have things open up. So that's just an idea of what you can do. Next play is going to be pivot slide. This play is intended to use a couple of different routes. You notice some of the unique routes we have is a tight end zig route. We have a pretty deep corner out with Chris. Godwin over here. You can also flip the formation. You notice how nobody actually moves, which is something I forgot to talk about. But we flip the play, nobody moves. We flip it, nobody moves, which is unique because you would think that the tight end and Tyler Johnson would have to move. It's actually not the case, which is pretty cool. And you notice how literally everything just flips. So Tyler Johnson is in this kind of blocking assignment to where he's helping out, but then he goes out on his route. So pretty cool that you can do that. Not many formations like this will actually allow that to happen. So I definitely like that, especially if I want to get this corner out on the wide side of the field. I can just flip it, and then we can, I don't know, motion over Chris over here, put him on a little streak. And then you have a play like this. I don't know, maybe you post Gronkowski, or you just curl him. Then again, you can keep the play action if you want or use it, but here you see Mike Evans getting open on the sideline. Bad click on, but pretty sure we all saw that he was wide open. I think so. And if you did want to run on the short side, you could of course kind of run the play just like this, normal. You actually have that slide route. Now the slide route runs super weird. You see how Tyler Johnson, he ran it very oddly. It rarely works, so I would just put him on a drag if I had to, but of course you can keep him if you really want to. Again, generally it doesn't work. Maybe it works better with the tight end than the slot receiver, which let's try it out. Does this work better with the tight end? Again, we can be on a little post if we want to. It does work better with the tight end, although he still gets bumped. So do with that what you want. Personally, I'd probably just put him on a drag, but you can also keep this zig route. Again, you can motion over like Tyler Johnson. You can put him on a crossing route, and then you can just drag X. Or if you want to streak A down the middle, drag X. Run your play like this, and this is allowing you to get 6-man protection. There you see you can fit in the crosser. So just gives you a lot of options. Overall, that's going to do a video. If you guys enjoyed, drop a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below, and peace. I'm out of here.